7 huge Hollywood actors blacklisted by Hollywood. This is gonna be interesting.
About 7 actors who are no longer cast by Hollywood, beginning with Sean William Scott, whose performance as Stifler in American Pie was so iconic that it actually hindered him from landing future roles. Sean stated in a 2010 interview, "I had so much fun and loved the character, but I don't want to be known as that character forever. Now I'm realizing that I probably will be known as that character forever," also adding in a Conan O'Brien interview that Stifler's basically all he's seen as when fans meet him in real life.
Do people like think you're Stifler? Do you have situations where people...
No, people think that I'm that guy.
Yeah.
They think that I am Stifler.
This made it difficult for Sean to land any role where he wasn't playing a douchey frat boy, although this wasn't so much of an issue at the start. He'd star in films such as Dude, Where's My Car, The Dukes of Hazzard, as well as Role Models, finding success in each film with the American Pie persona. However, these types of raunchy teen comedies aren't all that common anymore, and with Sean William Scott approaching his 50th birthday, it's not difficult to see
Yo, that guy's ancient at this point. Wow.
Why he no longer has the same utility as he used to. Between 2019 and 2022, Sean didn't appear in a single production, yet he would return in a TV series called Welcome to Flatch, in which Sean still looks exactly like Stifler over 23 years later. Although Sean William Scott isn't the only actor with this problem, as Christopher Mintz-Plasse has been unable to escape the legendary name McLovin ever since starring in Superbad. The movie was literally...
Oh, dude, Superbad is such a great movie, though. American Pie is really good, but Superbad, that's just next level. Come on, baby, you haven't watched that movie, that's a must.
Chris's very first acting role, being cast for his unique nerdy appearance, which when plastered on a certain iconic fake ID, made him recognizable to everybody. It stated in a Vanity Fair interview, "The day after it came out, I was a nobody, 18 years old. I'd never done anything in my life. And then the next day I go to a Habit restaurant, and then someone across the way goes McLovin in front of like 40 people. Then I was like, oh, something is changing in the atmosphere here," leading to concerns from fellow Superbad co-star Emma Stone, who stated, "Is Chris Mintz-Plasse going to be called McLovin for the rest of his life?"
This is such a popular problem, by the way, for so many actors, honestly. These are definitely not the two examples. There's like 100 more of them. You know, they perform a role that's so good, so iconic, so in the moment, in such an amazing movie, that people just like, you know, that's what they become. You know, your life is whatever you were before is gone. Now you're that character for life.
Chris had found himself with the same curse as Sean William Scott, which is interesting as the two would star alongside each other only 1 year after Superbad, where Chris played a character very similar to McLovin. More than half of his 5 most recent films have been voice acting roles, possibly done so he could disassociate from McLovin, yet on the trailer for his most recent film called Honor Roll, one of the top comments is still, "You know you're getting old when McLovin from Superbad now plays guidance counseling roles in teen movies." Despite being unable to escape the curse of McLovin, Christopher Mintz-Plasse has managed to find success in the music industry with his band called Main Man. When asked during an interview, "Do you ever feel pulled toward acting or music more than the other?" Chris responded by stating, "I would love to keep balancing the two. I think I'm very..."
You know what's interesting about these people who like get successful in Hollywood and then kind of sizzle out or whatever? They are never capable of really returning to the old way of life when they aren't in the spotlight and things like that, you know? This is a thing with a lot of actors who, you know, had a little bit of fame, and they're always trying to just reclaim it. And then almost no actor is just gonna go back, be like an analyst or anything like that. No, it's always, okay, I'm gonna be famous again. That's like their way of life.
Very lucky and grateful for where I am right now that I can do both. Acting, you can work for 3 months and not work for 6 months. So in that time, I love the momentum of music and everything that's going on. The momentum right now is very musical. I kind of just go with the flow, and it's
good for him, though. Good for him. Sounds like this guy's actually having a decent time. Unlike our first American Pie guy. You know, this one has things going on in his life, and it sounds like he's doing good.
Seems as though Jim Carrey has taken on a similar attitude. In the early days, Jim Carrey had a never-ending list of cult classic films: The Grinch, The Mask, The Truman Show, Dumb and Dumber,
Truman Show is amazing. Dumb and Dumber is you know, Dumb and Dumber is like a solid 8 out of 10. Ace Ventura, Animal Detective, every single part is a banger. You know it, and you should know it.
Ace Ventura, even Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind was amazing. However,
but probably, I forgot the name, they just said it. You know, I forgot the name, but the one where a reality show revolves around him, that is probably his best movie ever, though.
When was the last time you heard any hype around a Jim Carrey movie after maybe the second Dumb and Dumber almost 10 years ago? There's a good reason for this. Between 2016 and 2020,
the guy's
Jim
probably
Carrey
a
took a 4-year
billionaire
hiatus from acting, which seemed to have been catalyzed by the death of his ex-girlfriend in late 2015.
Ooh,
the tragedy not only resulted in grief, but Jim Carrey also had to spend the entirety of 2017 embroiled in various lawsuits related to her passing. He was dismissed of any legal wrongdoing in early 2018, yet only 6 months later in a Hollywood Reporter interview,
what happened?
It was explained that Jim Carrey was an actor who had effectively renounced his own celebrity after stating, "I just didn't want to be in the business anymore. I didn't like what was happening, the corporations taking over and all that. And maybe it's because I felt pulled toward a different type of..."
Is he on the island list? Was he on the island list? I don't think he actually was.
Creative outlet. Jim Carrey instead began to focus on painting, and while he would return to acting for a brief period in 2020, he'd go on to state this in April 2022.
Sonic.
Well, I'm retiring, but I really liked my quiet life, and
I mean, good for him, you know. Take some time off and do all of that stuff. The guy's a millionaire, at the bare minimum. His net worth is probably in the tens, if not the hundreds of millions at this point. Like, he was the superstar of, you know, like, the 15 years back. He was an absolute beast.
I really love putting...
Still arguably could be, by the way, if he decided to return. Like, the guy is good. The guy is absolutely good.
And this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists. I have enough. I've done enough.
True.
He added that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 would be his final movie,
I
and
haven't
apart from a
seen it.
small appearance in the Weeknd's Out of Time music video, Jim Carrey has stayed true to his retirement. But whatever happened to Tobey Maguire?
Oh no, the moment I saw his face at the start, man, what happened to our boy Bully? Oof.
Summarized well by this comment, I don't care what other movies this
Man, this guy is a legend. We need to make a petition right in the street, or he's gonna put dirt in our eyes. This is the most iconic Spider-Man in the history of Spider-Manism. Okay? This guy is who doesn't know about this guy? His dance moves, his everything, his sayings. They're so... The guy is literally gonna be an eternal legend just because of Spider-Man. It's insanity.
plays in, he will always be Spider-Man to me. And while this is true for most Tobey Maguire,
but he's a legend. Like, you know, the first one is probably the worst example of someone who's, like, you know, known for his role. But our boy Bully is like, everyone who doesn't love this guy.
Fans, he isn't really typecast in the same way as McLovin or Stifler. He found success playing fairly unique roles in other films such as The Great Gatsby, yet since 2014,
didn't see it, but it's supposed to be a good movie.
he appeared in no more than 3 films and 1 episode of a TV show. Why? He's not a romantic lead, he's not an action star, he's not a comedic actor, he's not a Shakespearean. His boyish good looks were appealing in his 20s and 30s, but not when he's in his early 40s. Basically, Tobey Maguire has a limited range as an actor, and there aren't many roles for him within that range.
I disagree with it. He would absolutely slay it in a serious role, but serious movies are cast so rarely, and we're talking about serious movies. You know, there are a couple of staples that you kind of want for serious roles. You know, that he would be amazing in something like John Wick. He would be an absolute amazing supporting or co-star-ish type of guy in something like John Wick. Because, you know, he looks the part. He's perfect for, like, these serious roles.
Besides being fairly limited in terms of what roles he can play, Tobey Maguire has also
also this is a little bit of a problem.
found himself in numerous media scandals. In 2015, it was reported that Maguire won as much as 30 to 40 million from illegal poker games over the course of 3 years, with most of this money having come from a hedge fund manager who's now serving 10 years in prison himself for
Bruh! That's That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Running an illegal Ponzi scheme. The poker games were organized by a woman named Molly Bloom, who wrote in her memoir that Maguire asked her to bark like a seal who wants a fish in order to earn a $1,000 poker chip. The poker game organizer added that
that's our boy Bully right there. That's our boy. Ooh, that's some dirt in your eye.
she tried to laugh it off. However, the actor persisted and said, "I'm not kidding, what's wrong?
What's
You're too
wrong?
rich now,
Damn.
you won't bark for $1,000?
Wow.
On top of this scandal, there are YouTube compilations dedicated solely to Tobey Maguire getting angry at paparazzi.
Oh, I
The main
haven't
reason
seen
behind
these.
why he's
Wow.
disappeared from Hollywood is because he's busy making movies as opposed to acting in them. Despite having acted in only
Really?
4 productions since 2014,
I had no
he's been
idea.
the producer for 8 movies during the same time period, which is significantly more prolific than Taylor Lautner, who was blacklisted by
Isn't this like a Twilight guy?
Hollywood for a much more brutal reason. Taylor Lautner became an
For
overnight
being in
sensation
Twilight,
at the age
yeah.
of 16 after starring in the incredibly famous series Twilight with his attractive
I'm just gonna make a blind guess here. He's not exactly great at treating his girlfriends. I don't know this, but this is my guess, considering early fame, huge thing where you get 1 billion female fans that are almost gonna probably do anything for you. This is just the combination that leads to outcomes like that.
physical appearance helping him to land the role and maintain an audience of dedicated teenage fangirls. Almost every Taylor Lautner interview focused on his body.
So everybody's talking about the scene where you drop your pants.
So,
How was that?
With the whole
That's a
Team
thing?
Jacob vs. Team Edward fiasco, helping Taylor Lautner to earn an estimated $40 million from the franchise.
money.
He was so famous that for 10 whole years, he didn't go to a grocery store, movie theater, or a mall, although over time this insane
it sounds like he has wasted his money in that case.
level of fame began to fade. The 4 movies he starred in after Twilight each failed to crack 6 stars on IMDb, the worst of which being described as a 4th-rate Hollywood thriller that bundles a lot of thievery from better movies, is entirely bereft of suspense or excitement, and features a leading man who absolutely positively cannot act. And by 2016,
Oh!
Taylor Lautner had stopped exercising altogether, leading him
wow.
to lose the body that had made him so famous in the first place.
And
Hey, you have a lot of money.
you know what happens
Still,
when you
probably.
don't want to see a gym is you start losing the 8-pack. Seeing it online was very tough, and being like, wow, he's let it all go. I was like, oh man, did I really let it all go?
It'd be unfair to call Taylor Lautner's Twilight success lucky, as he definitely had to put in a lot of work prior to landing the role, but it did seem like he'd caught the right wave at the right time. The movie demanded a fit guy in his late teens,
Interesting.
which Taylor Lautner suited perfectly at the time. However, this on its own was insufficient to ensure any long-term success. But while every person we've discussed so far has continued
Okay, so there's wow. I'm surprised that this isn't a lot darker, by the way, about this guy, because you know his things in life are, well, a couple of circumstances that lead very much in one way. It seems like, wow. The fact that he's not on the streets is also kind of amazing, to be honest. Well, good for him, I guess, but I would expect that if we look into it, we still will find a lot of bad things.
to land small roles here and there. It's time to talk about Cameron Diaz, who hasn't been cast in a single movie since 2014.
Yo, she was also pretty legendary. The other woman, I think I remember this one. Don't know any other of these ones, but she was also a big deal. Plus she's literally like made for Hollywood with her look and whatnot.
She found massive success with movies such as Shrek, Charlie's Angels, and There's Something About
Oh yeah, these movies are pretty
Mary,
good.
holding the title of the highest
Something About Mary is, you know, not even my kind of movie, but it's still good. I have seen it. It's pretty decent, you know. She's good in it.
paid actress over the age of 40, while appearing in multiple films every year up until her disappearance.
Let's see. Bad Teacher? Was she dead? Oh, Bad Teacher was good. Bad Teacher was good. Admittedly, that's probably a little bit of a niche, but Bad Teacher was good in my opinion. Let's see what we have otherwise. Gambit, A Liar's Autograph, no idea. Shrek, she's a voice actor then. What to expect when you're expecting? No idea. The Green Hornet, Shrek's Shrek's Yule log? Huh. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like she's doing that bad.
So what happened? Well, unlike most of the others we've covered in this video, Cameron Diaz is vanishing from Hollywood instead.
Oh, she was in this movie. In this movie, he can't lie. He always must say the truth, and he's what is it called? An advocate? No, not an advocate, but a lawyer. Yeah, he's a lawyer, and suddenly he can't lie. He's really good at lying, and that's why he has all this money, fame, and people look up to him. I don't remember what happened, why he can't lie. Did he meet some kind of deity or whatever? Someone cursed him. He can't lie for like 2 days or something, and he completely wrecks his life and finds new meaning in life because of it. Good movie. Not the greatest, but still good.
End. She'd explained in an interview with Kevin Hart that as someone who performed at the top level of her field, she needed to spend every waking hour focusing on the craft, and she was tired of living such a singular focused life.
Still looks good in my opinion, boys, not gonna lie.
Cameron Diaz has instead had a baby, written
Okay, now it's back,
two self-help books and launched a wine brand called Aveline, which seems to be much more than what Sacha Baron Cohen has been up to. After
Is he known for anything other than Borat? I don't think so.
Borat grossed over $250 million back in 2006.
That's a lot of money.
Sacha Baron Cohen saw a steady decline in the performance of every film afterwards. The Dictator did $180 million. Bruno
didn't see it.
Did $140 million, yet by 2016, Grimsby did only $28 million on a budget of $35 million, meaning the film lost $7 million, whilst prompting reviews such as Baron Cohen is a one-trick pony and his shtick has worn thin. In 2016, he stated that Hollywood would be too scared to make Borat today, explaining that the
that's probably true, though.
Incredibly crude humor which made the movie so successful was better suited to when the film was first released. The kind of stuff he pulled off in Borat is much harder to do in this YouTube/iPhone age, as Cohen himself admitted while doing press for this one. The same kind of problem can also be applied to Bruno in The Dictator, but it's the risky comedy in these films that makes them so entertaining.
I have seen some clips from The Dictator. It doesn't actually seem that bad. I only have seen Borat. And I don't think I have even seen Borat 2. I may be mistaken, maybe I have forgotten. But yeah, this guy definitely seems like one-trick wonder.
Entertaining to watch. On top of being more limited in terms of what jokes he can make, Sacha Baron Cohen has also been limited by lawsuits. He stated in a 2012 interview that he could no longer make movies like Borat and Bruno, as the movies I did up till now, they involved real people. At the moment, I think I have the Guinness World Record for the most sued actor in history, with Borat accounting for at least 7 of these lawsuits. Despite this, Sacha Baron Cohen did release.
Was Borat done with real people who didn't know what's happening? Is that the explanation for that?
Borat 2 in October 2020, which was purchased by Amazon for $80 million.
Oh yeah, I have not seen this.
Wow. So while it's clear that he is still finding success with these roles, it'll be interesting to observe the performance of his next.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Well, anyway, that's a good video by Sunny. Wow, look at that. He doesn't have to say smart things. Suddenly a video is an absolute banger, boys. Anyway, this was Quizzer said, thanks for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.